If you're looking to maximize your tax savings when it comes to being a real estate investor, this is a show you don't want to miss. We sit down with Mark J. Kohler, who is an expert when it comes to tax strategy, as well as directed IRAs and investing in Main Street businesses. Now, Mark has a wealth of knowledge and experience, and he breaks down why you need to make sure that you have a tax lawyer working with your tax accountant. And this is going to allow you to maximize the savings and benefits you get. There's so much more information packed in this episode. Make sure you check out today's conversation right here on Multifamily Insights. You probably got interested in real estate for the cash flow, the tax advantages, the equity appreciation, and the long-term wealth creation, not for the 2 a.m. emergency maintenance calls. But let's face it, maintenance can be the biggest headache when it comes to building up your real estate portfolio. And that's why I want to tell you about a new property management software called Hemlane. See, Hemlane is more than your typical software. It's really like having a property management support system. First, Hemlane provides 24/7 repair coordination. They have a network of vetted maintenance technicians and professionals in your area to handle repair and maintenance your property may need. Second, Hemlane helps you advertise your listings and even connects you to licensed agents to help find and place tenants. And third, Hemlane is ranked #1 by Gartner with an average of 4.8 star reviews on repair coordination. Learn how Hemlane can help you manage your properties with 100% transparency and control without the administrative work. And as a Multifamily Insights listener, you will receive 25% off for 2 months when you sign up. Just go to hemlane.com, that's HEMLANE.com, and use Multifamily Podcast 25 as the promo code. Again, that's hemlane.com, or just click the link in the show notes. Mark Kohler is a highly respected founding and senior partner at KKOS Lawyers, specializing in tax, legal, wealth, estate, and asset protection planning. Let's welcome to the show, Mark Kohler.
Thanks for having me. I'm grateful to be here, John. This is awesome. And this is not a fake background. If you're watching the video portion of this is a ranch out in Utah. And I had a campfire going last night, but then still 12 hours a day, I'm cranking here. And I just want to say thank you, Elon Musk, for Starlink, because it's like my savior here for my own podcast and being on show. So John, thanks for having me.
I love it, man. It was great to have you on. You know, I went over your background at a very, very high level. Why don't you take 2 minutes and fill in some of those gaps?
Well, I've always been an entrepreneur. I love business first and foremost. And any accountant or lawyer out there is a business owner first. And if they don't have that business mindset, you kind of have a weird animal and many people get frustrated with that. Like they can't have a good business conversation with their accountant or lawyer if they don't have that business mindset, which I think is so important. And I'm teaching a lot of accountants and other advisors around the country how to do that. It took me a lot of years of therapy of learning how to talk to people as an accountant. No, I was a kid always with the lemonade stand, went on to school to get a master's in tax, went on to law school and worked at big firms and little firms and started my own gig about 20, 25 years ago and haven't looked back. And I just love helping small business owners. I own real estate myself, commercial, multifamily, as big as duplexes. I'm a duplex guy. I know I want to get rid of some background. Duplexes, low-income housing, commercial, raw land, and even some industrial. So I try to live the mantra of buying one rental property a year or some form of real estate because I'm such a believer in that asset class. And then as a tax and legal advisor over the years, writing books, podcasts, YouTube videos, many of you, your listeners probably know who I am. And I just try to make it practical, simple, easy, and building wealth, saving taxes. So real estate's a great way to do it.
Mark, let's dive into it, man. So you understand for your own personal investing, you know, you invest in real estate for some of the tax benefits, have some other investments as well. But you mentioned your background really as an entrepreneur, getting into the tax side, the accounting side, and helping so many other people. When you look at some of the advantages when it comes to real estate investing, what are some of those advantages for the person who is not necessarily, looking to be full-time gung-ho real estate, but like you, maybe has a W-2 job or something else that's their primary source of income, but solely looking at investing to supplement that or maybe take advantage of some tax perks?
Wow. Well, there are so many lanes, if you will, and ways to get involved in real estate. And it's hard to say, oh, they don't want to get that active or they don't want to get that much. If you think turnkey real estate is for you, good luck, because that's the way you get ripped off. So thinking you're going to find that perfect solution and the perfect person that you can just give your money to or buy that perfect property that you never have to think about again, unless you go into a fund, and you're not going to get a lot of the tax benefits you may think that way, or flexibility. Not that real estate funds are bad, or big multi-unit funds or syndications are great, but gosh, there's so many. I'm going to just say there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 lanes. Yeah, if you want to be an active real estate developer, realtor, builder, rehabber, and stay have your S corporation and just go out and do real estate every day, that's great. But on day 2, you're still going to be an investor, because where are you going to take those profits? You're going to put them in rental property or some sort of passive position, and that's beautiful. So I like the way you say that, John. There's going to be that lane of active day job real estate professionals. On the flip side, I think there's several other lanes that I own real estate in my Roth IRA. I think buying real estate in your retirement accounts is super advantageous, because then I don't have to worry about exit and capital gains and future taxes. And it's incredible. Then there's the lane of, well, I want that asset class because I get a better rate of return, and I may not be a real estate professional, and I'm okay to defer those depreciation write-offs and cash in on them when I sell property from time to time. Love that. Sometimes we can avoid a 1031 that route. And then I think there's those out there that are looking for an angle that I love, and that is the self-rental. If you're a business owner owning your own building space, I can use cost seg and take tax strategies without having to be a real estate professional. I love the short-term rental loophole. Only takes 100 hours, and I can knock that out of the park and then put it on autopilot, if you will, to some degree. So that's another lane. So there are some great tax benefits that are unique. Oh my gosh, there's so much, John. Isn't it exciting? It's like such an exciting industry.
Yeah, and that's what I'm taking away from it, right? It's like it's one of those things where I know a lot of listeners, when you think of real estate investing, there's something specific that comes to your mind, right? It might be being a landlord. It might be being a flipper or being a real estate agent, even though it's not truly being an investor. But a lot of people, when they hear that, if you're not familiar or close to it, when you say, hey, I'm investing in real estate, they have this certain image that conjures up. And what you're getting at is there's so many different strategies to invest that I actually believe that anyone and everyone should be looking to invest in real estate. Does not mean you have to be a landlord. Does not mean you have to deal with tenants and residents and toilets and all that kind of stuff. You just have to find a strategy that matches what you're looking for. And there is a strategy out there for every investor.
Yeah, and sometimes the stars align and it's perfect. But from a tax advisor standpoint, maybe many of you may be listening. You're like, yeah, if I only had a good accountant that speaks real estate, or a lawyer that can help with my asset protection that doesn't charge me an arm and leg. At our law firm, Boutique, we've been helping clients for years build their trifecta, their strategy, and align it with their tax strategy, their asset protection strategy, and what asset class they like. And that's the goal. So I want to give some tangible advice here. If you're wanting to invest in real estate, or you already are, when you come to the table with me, what I mean by that, parenthetically, we're on Zoom or whatever, one of my tax lawyers, and we're going to say, what asset class do you like? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And then over here, on the other hand, we're going to go, okay, what are the tax benefits we might be able to get out of that? Could we get some pass-through cost seg? Could we get some depreciation flow-through losses? Could we create some ordinary income and fund a solo 401k or fund some Roth IRAs? Could we get kids involved? Could we self-direct? What is the tax angle? There are so many tax strategies that work with different types of real estate strategies. And a good tax advisor helps you align those And when we can bring those together, and man, if we can knock out 3 or 4 stars at once, oof, 3 or 4 birds with one stone, wow. And so that's where I want to get creative with clients, because what I don't want them is to go, I want a tax strategy. Well, that's going to involve this. Okay, I'll do it. And they don't know what the hell they're doing with real estate. They don't know why they're getting into that asset class. They don't understand that real estate strategy. And so that's not healthy. And then they go, well, I really want to do this in real estate. And then they want to shoehorn a tax strategy, and that's not going to work with that strategy. So it takes a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of planning to say, ooh, I like these types of real estate investments, and I need these types of tax benefits. How can we have those intersect? And it's not as hard as you think, but just some examples, but I love it.
Mark, what you're getting at, I think, is really helpful for listeners, right? It's like we know you can benefit from real estate, but you have to understand the exact strategy and how it works from a tax standpoint. I know I've spoken to a number of CPAs and accountants and other investors, and there seems to be a kind of growing frustration with kind of a lack of proper tax strategy when it comes to how to take advantage of it. And some of it is because I think most investors don't reach out to their people until it's tax time, and they're just handing them K-1s and they're trying to figure out why they're not saving more on taxes. Can you talk to us about maybe the approach investors should take when looking to maximize their tax strategy?
Oh, absolutely. And guys, this could be, for those listening, a heaven sent message today. And John, thanks for having me, because I didn't know where we were going to go with this interview. I love your show, and I just wanted to be here and see where it went. I walked away from my accounting firm that I built for 15 years. I walked away from the accounting firm 3 years ago. We still have our law firm. We're doing daily consults, tax lawyers, and for small business owners, very affordable. And then we've got our directed IRA trust company. But in the middle, my accounting firm, we couldn't handle the capacity of the thousands of real estate investors that go through our law firm or a trust company and go, I need someone to prep my taxes and apply a tax strategy to my situation. Okay, so where I'm going with this. So 3 years ago, I took my internal training system, the books I've written, thousands of podcasts and videos on YouTube and blah, 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 and put it into a training system inside my firm to train new hires, lawyers, accountants. And I was like, but we have this 3-year waiting list. So I said, I'm done. So 2.5 years ago, I started Main Street Tax Professionals, a certification program, weekly trainings, community on a open forum for accountants, enrolled agents, CPAs, attorneys, and financial advisors that want to get together and have a uniform message and know all the tax strategies. So I started 2.5 years ago. We now have over 1,100 accountants that speak Mark Kohler. I say that humbly because I've learned so much from them. And we have a uniform message. I have a whole module, 12 modules, 70 topics, a whole module just on real estate. And they have to test out with a 90% before they graduate. And then we have weekly meetings. Yesterday, we were talking about bonus depreciation of 179 and makers and how to get the best out of a real estate deal based on your situation, because it's not all about bonus. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. And so anyway, what we've done now, John, is the approach we suggest is always start with the tax lawyer once a year, at least, to just say, build me a plan, bring it together, look at my asset protection. How many entities do I have? Too many, too little? Are they in good standing? Are they cleaned up? Are they registered properly? Do they have is title actually been transferred? Don't worry about bank loans. Let's get real estate where it's supposed to be. How is it all flowing into my 1040? Do I have my kids on payroll? Is my spouse on payroll? Do I have an S corp? Where are my K-1s coming in? What's my day job result when I look at my real estate portfolio right now? And we answer those questions and give you a plan. And then we say, here's a tax advisor in our network. They're going to be your quarterback and get you down the field. They're going to help you score a touchdown year after year and throw the ball, hand it off, do whatever it takes with the right professionals on your team. And the tax lawyer and your accountant work together. I know some of you are falling off your chair. Would that be nice, Mark? Where are you, in La La Land? So I used to have that problem. I didn't have that resource. So now we have this tribe, this community that I couple with my law firm. It's been amazing. We've been growing even faster in the last 2 years. So I would recommend, in summary, If you don't like our firm, you don't like Mark Kohler, that's fine. Start with a tax lawyer, because I'm so sick of clients going to the lawyer, getting one answer, then I'm going to go translate it to their dumb accountant that's got their heels in. And frankly, CPAs, and I'm one of them, they can be egotistical sons of bitches. They're like, you can't tell me what to do. They're going to go tell the lawyer, and everybody gets in this turf war, right? So many of your listeners have been through this. You've been through it probably, John, right? You're trying to get your lawyer and accountant on the same page. It's like herding cats. So if we can get them on the same page, it's incredible. It relieves so much stress. We start saving taxes, making more money. That's my mission right now. It's happening every day. It's exciting. Get your lawyer on the same page with your accountant. I've got the teams. They're out there. There's others. They can be hard to find. And if you find them, glom onto them, because that's going to be your key to success.
Mark, I love that, because you talked about getting that tax lawyer, really just understanding where everything sits at a high level. And from there, that's when you go get the accountant. There's a step missing, and maybe there's some overlap there. But I've come to learn that there's a difference between kind of an accountant and a tax strategist. Right?
Yeah.
And, early on, we were going to our CPA or accountant, and they weren't really providing the direction or answers that we were looking for from a strategy standpoint. And we kind of felt a little bit lost. I know I've had this conversation with so many other investors. Can you just maybe clarify that part, right? Where it comes from, the legal part from a tax lawyer to the strategist down to really the execution with that accountant?
You bet. There's nothing wrong with accountants. Accountants, I define them as doing books, doing payroll, knocking out your tax return. Accountants out there that are listening, I know there's some of you are on listening, that would be compliance, right? You're doing compliance. And when you're doing compliance, you don't have time for advisory. You don't understand it. You know it's the Holy Grail and you want it. So being a tax advisor is that next level. And being a tax advisor takes a lot of strategy and education to get there. So what we do is take them through these, in my Main Street Tax Pro certification. I didn't know we were going to get there today. We do the tax advisory training. In that tax advisor training, we have these modules they test out, and that turns them from an accountant into a tax advisor. And now as a tax advisor, they're going to be at the table and on the same side of the table with the client going, okay, let's put our hands together. Oh, what'd the lawyers say about your entity structure? What'd they say about your trust, your estate plan? Okay, let's integrate that. Let's get this tax strategy in here. Let's get together. Let's bring it together. So so that's what I'm trying to give the community, is elevate accountants to this advisory. And you accountants out there, you know you want this. It's steady income, better clients. You're stuck in the compliance cash flow cycle. It's regrettable. We all hate it. So now advisory, the accountant wins. They elevate to advisor, and the client wins because they get really someone at the table that knows what they're doing.
No, I love it. Great stuff there, right? Understanding what it takes to be an advisor versus just focus on the compliance. That's going to help to make sure you get the right strategies to save or reduce on your taxes. Mark, you're doing a few different things, right? We talked about the tax side. I know you're also doing some stuff with the directed IRA. For those folks who are not familiar, can you talk about self-directed IRAs and just some of the benefits that are existing there?
Yeah, for those that I suspect you have a very educated community and following, but for those that are new to your podcast, you may have not have heard of self-directing your retirement account. Now, this has been around for 50 years. And it's nothing high risk or out of the ordinary. It's just these self-directed trust companies and custodians don't have Wall Street money like Fidelity and Schwab and Merrill Lynch. So we can't buy Super Bowl commercial time. But a self-directed trust company allows you to move your retirement account, a Roth IRA, old 401k, solo 401k, whatever, a Coverdale, a health savings account, and without taxes, without penalty, you're just going to transfer it from your current brokerage into the trust company that's FDIC insured, bank regulated, blah, blah, blah. All that's totally safe. You're going to say, I'm going to move my Roth IRA over here. And on day 2, they call and say, hey, Tom, what do you want to invest in? Oh, I want to invest in a rental property. I want to invest in a fund. I want to do a hard money loan. I want to invest in a storage unit facility, whatever. I want to create my own LLC and go do some flips. Okay, let's figure it out. And so self-directing allows you to take your Roth IRA or 401k and rip it out of Wall Street's grubby hands and put it into a format that allows you to self-direct how you want it invested, including real estate, crypto, notes, funds, syndications, your sister's bakery down the street, whatever. Mitt Romney, when he ran for president 10 plus years ago, he had a $200 million Roth. Peter Thiel has a $6 billion Roth that he started with $5,000 back in 2000. We all get to go past go and put in our $7,000 this year. And we have our solo 401ks at 20 to 30 grand, depending on your age. So, but what we invested in on day two, you can be in control of that. And that's self-directing. We have a whole podcast on books, blah, blah, blah. It's just awesome. And if you're in the real estate space, you really want to look at your retirement accounts, they can be in real estate too. And I'm not talking about a REIT, for crying out loud.
I love it. Listen, it's a great strategy. It's one that I know surprised me when I first learned about it. And it certainly has helped us to expand and get access to deals that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to access. And you still get all the perks too of being in a retirement account as far as it being tax deferred and all those different things. So it's really a great strategy to learn more about. And to your point, you can get some money out of Wall Street, right? You can take control. These are your investments. These are things that you are learning about, things that you can see and touch. And that's going to give you more power. With that said, there's obviously some downfalls. You've worked with a number of investors over the years. What are some of the mistakes you see people make when it comes to using self-directed IRAs?
Well, some of the mistakes are first that they think they can hire themselves or take money out of it like their own piggy bank. The Roth IRA is not built to buy a rental property that you're going to use personally or benefit from. You can't put your kids in college in your rental property your IRA owns. So that's called a prohibited transaction. What else is bad? There's not much. I mean, it's like, just look at your Roth right now. What's your ROI? And say, holy crap, I'm making 20% on this rental property over here. Why don't I buy my next rental property in my old 401k or Roth IRA? You can get loans in your retirement accounts. You can use leverage. You can pool your spouse's, your kids' retirement accounts and form an LLC and go buy bigger and better projects, multifamily. I recommend get over to Directed IRA Podcast. It's called The Directed IRA Podcast with Mark Kohler, Matt Sorensen, my partner. We've got hundreds of shows, million plus downloads. Go check it out. Start listening. It'll blow your mind. It's a very, very fascinating, real type of investing that's legitimate. And the only way you're going to really get exposed to it is to dive a little deep. And 10 podcasts in, we freaking make it so easy. They'll answer all those questions and more.
Listen, definitely a great strategy. Check it out, the Directed IRA podcast. We'll make sure we put a link to that in the show notes. You got another podcast you do as well, right? The Main Street Business Podcast. Tell us a little bit more about that show.
Well, I love my Main Street Business Podcast. So this has been the longest running. Tons of reviews and downloads. And that's about the Main Street business owner. Again, I consider a real estate investor a Main Street business. You're filing a Schedule E. You're writing off auto and dining and home office and all these. That's separate from self-directing. So I try to buy a rental in my own name as well as in my retirement account every year. I buy real estate in both. But when I have my Main Street business, I can go out and use better tax strategies, flow through losses, flow through strategies, hire family, use the property, use the Augusta rule and some personal visits. I mean, there's just so many strategies. And so on the Main Street Business Podcast, we're talking about business ownership, how to scale your business, how to sell it, how to grow it, and the tax strategies and asset protection that comes with it. I highly encourage all of you out there, if you have a small business, 40 million Americans now have a side hustle. And that's that's a small business. It's a gateway drug right there to the American dream. So.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, I'm talking to a lot of investors, and I've noticed that many of my commercial real estate investors have grown more and more interested in multifamily businesses, particularly like car washes and laundromats and things like that. What advice would you give an investor, multifamily investor looking to invest and own a business?
Well, let's just go with the side hustle concept. During the pandemic, there was the Great Formation. Millions of Americans said, you know what? I'm going to go out and make some extra income. Now they say it's over 40% of Americans have an additional source of income. If you're listening today and you're getting a 1099, that's a small business. So own it. That's okay. Let's create some tax strategies to go with it. Now, do I have to go out and buy a business to do that? Maybe, franchises and other businesses that are for sale, yada, yada. I mean, just talking about the tax industry, there are 60-year-old plus baby boomers walking away from accounting practices because no one wants to buy them because it's just compliance. They don't realize they're sitting on a gold mine. You can go come get certified by me. I'll teach you how to be a tax advisor. Go buy an accounting practice from someone that's walking away and take those 500 clients and convert just 10% of them to advisory. You got a $500,000 a year business right there. So buying a service-based business that it speaks to you, your passion, your hobby, and creating a business from it or buying a business, man, that's a freaking American dream. I love it. And it doesn't have to mean you quit your day job. It could be a side hustle that you do with your spouse or kids or on the weekends. It's an online business. How many people are making money online? Just in the middle of the night selling product and services. My daughter sells patterns and dresses with 2 kids on her arms, and she's got a huge following. Go follow Allie Marie, Marye, on Instagram. And she's just doing clothing lines for ladies, and they love it. And she does it all from her home as a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids. And she's just in the fashion industry loving it. So whatever you believe in and you're passionate about, holy crap, let's make some money doing it.
I love it. Mark, there's a lot of opportunity out there. It helps to have the right people on your side to help you navigate that from a tax standpoint, from a legal standpoint. If this is something that interests you, please reach out to Mark and his team and learn a little bit more. We're going to put a couple links in our show notes below. Mark, what is the best and easiest way to get in touch with you?
I think I'd say a couple of great takeaways. If you just want a little bit more learning, and let's see who this Mark Kohler's about. Check out the Directed IRA podcast, the Main Street Business podcast, my YouTube channel. I've got books on Amazon. Just Google Mark J. Kohler. You'll see it. And you really want a voice in this tax and legal lane that speaks to you. If it's not me, find someone else. But there's only 3 to 5 major national influencers in this space. I'm trying to beat the GOAT. I'm trying. So I'm trying to give you guys cutting edge info. But number 2, after you start getting a little more educated, start with a consult with one of my tax lawyers. Couple grand, you're going to get your plan completely reviewed. You might get an entity in the same process. You might get your estate plan done. Get a picture of everything you're doing, and then help that tax lawyer will help you align, bring in your accountant up to speed, or help you find a new one that's a tax advisor, not just a tax preparer. People, it is possible. You can have both, and we're going to do our best to help you get there.
Mark, I love it. Make sure you check that out. We'll put all the links to those in our show notes. Before we jump to our round of insights, I do want to let you know that we have a special guide for those of you who are looking for a little more assistance in growing and scaling as an investor in apartments. We have our 7 questions you must ask before investing in apartments. Check that out. Go to casmoncapital.com/7 questions. When you think you found a great deal, asking the right questions could be the difference in finding a stud or a dud. Listen, we've put together a new guide to help you out. It's called 7 Questions You Must Ask Before Investing in Apartments. Now, in this guide, you're going to learn how to uncover red flags, quickly identify underwriting risk, vet sponsors and team members, and confirm key assumptions. Now, this is a guide that's going to help you be a better investor, whether you're an active investor or you're a passive investor looking to partner with other operators. Asking better questions is the key to identifying great opportunities. So download this free guide. Go to our website, casmoncapital.com/7 questions. That's the number 7 questions. And you can access this free guide today. To make it easy on you, though, we've put a link in our show notes. So you go to the show notes, you can click that link and access the guide right now. This guide's going to help you make better investment choices, asking the right questions to build your portfolio. So be sure to download it today. All right, Mark, give us a failure or an apparent failure that sets you up for later success.
I would reinvest for years all of my profit back into my business because I thought I was my best bet. While my partner and I was telling clients, go buy real estate. I flipped that dialogue about 8 years ago and started taking out just a little profit every year, go buy more real estate, and it's made me more well-rounded. My portfolio has grown. So people, if you're a business owner, you've got to take a little profit and redeploy it in real estate. It'll change your life.
All right, let's do this one. Give me a mobile or digital resource or application that our listeners should be checking out for their own business.
iTunes. And find a podcast you love. That's it.
All right. So give me the book you've recommended or gifted the most in the last year that is not one of your own.
Traction.
Traction, a great book. All right. Give us a daily habit that helps you stay focused on your goals.
Read scriptures every morning.
What's your number one insight for maximizing your tax strategy?
Regular conversations and planning about it.
Love it. Great insights right there. All right, we're going to lighten the mood and go in a different direction. You're out there on your ranch in Utah. Give us your favorite place to grab a bite to eat.
It's called Dairy Keen, Keen. Their root beer floats are amazing.
Dairy Keen it is. Well, great stuff, Mark. You talk to us about your background coming from kind of the tax legal land and really helping other clients with these three verticals from directed IRAs to the accounting side and the tax side, and recognizing that there's a lot of opportunities both in tax in the legal side, as well as with directed IRAs, and just helping other listeners, right? Through the podcast, through the videos you've created, and helping us understand that it's really important to get your team aligned, getting the legal side of it aligned with your accounting side so that you can have a tax strategy that works for you and allows you to optimize on your taxes. Again, for folks that want to learn more, you can check out Mark J. Kohler. You can Google that. We'll put some links to it in the show notes as well, along with those podcasts. Mark, I want to thank you again for being a great guest and coming on Multifamily Insights. We look forward to staying in touch with you, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, sir.